غرباء 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 غرباء.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to episode 5 of Islam Means Peace. Subhanallah, how the time flies. My guest today is a member of the rap group formed in Australia, a local group called the Brotherhood. I'm sure you've heard of it. Brother Hesham, assalamu alaikum.
Thanks,
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
So my first question to you, Brother Hesham, is before we get into the Brotherhood and what you did with them, tell us a bit about your upbringing and how you found the four other brothers and the start your origin story with the Brotherhood.
Sure. So I grew up in Melbourne, in southeastern suburbs, and I grew up with relatively practicing parents, and been just doing the average kids stuff kind of thing, and then I started going to a Muslim youth camp and met the other guys through there, and we just formed a really close friendship, and we had a passion of hip hop, and we thought that our way of spreading dawah was going through that kind of medium, so that's what we did.
Because when people think of hip hop, they think of the African American rap scene and that kind of thing, and obviously with you guys coming up straight after the 90s era, where with the gangster rap and that kind of thing, and hip hop being associated with feuds, and especially because you guys started after the Cronulla riots, was that right?
Yeah.
So how did you guys go about breaking those kind of social stereotypes that people had of Islam, not only after 9/11 with the bombing and that kind of thing, and that being associated with Islam, and then the local thing of the Cronulla riots and the people fighting with the Muslims and that kind of thing. How did you guys go about breaking those social stereotypes?
I think the hip hop group ended up just through its own means. It just went multifaceted. So at one point we were doing a lot of conscious type of meaningful music that promoted peace and love and whatnot. And then another section was it was a lot more religious and brought in to help out young Muslims to identify as young Muslims through means of hip hop. And then the other section was trying to explain or trying to just get people to understand what Islam really was, and especially after the September 11 bombings and the Cronulla riots, and this sort of this Muslim racism kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that was one of the things, especially when it came to Australia, that's what we really worked hard on doing, just trying to break those stereotypes and misconceptions.
Yeah. So you guys started off, of course, as a local group.
Yep.
And then you expanded your horizon. You went international. How was that? How did you manage to do that?
To be honest with you, we just happened to have picked a wave, and we rode it as long as we could have, and it was good while we could have done it, and we still do quite a bit of stuff overseas. So we've got a performance up in October.
Okay. Where's that?
In Indonesia. So.
Okay.
So we're still trying to keep as active as we can in the Asian areas, but as far as local hip hop's concerned, we try and do whatever we can, but it's just hard when you got a few members and they're all married and kids and
of course.
So
people obviously get on with life and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you're going solo now?
Yeah, so I'm running solo. No.
Yeah.
But I do my the Brotherhood stuff, and then we run hip hop workshops and stuff. But then I've also gone solo, and it just makes it easier because I can sort of just spend a lot more time just doing what I want to get done, and just opens up my options on that. So I've released a few songs, so if you can check it out, it's Hesh the Rapper on SoundCloud, or you can check it out on Facebook and see what I've got.
So with the Brotherhood, what kind of impact did you guys feel you had on the youth and that kind of thing? I know personally, listening to your nasheeds growing up, I felt empowered as a young Muslim man, listening to the Silent Truth and the kind of message that delivered, talking about if you don't like what we stand for, then it's okay, if you don't like Islam, it's okay, you don't have to love us, but at least be respectful and try to understand what we're about. So what kind of message do you think you guys had on youth in general, with especially with that nasheed in particular, and the video for it where you guys went around with Australian Caucasian people who are non-Muslim, and you guys went around and you spoke to them and made them understand what Islam is about. So yeah, exactly, what kind of impact were you trying to have, and what kind of impact did you actually end up having?
I think hip hop is a beautiful tool, especially for alienated or ostracized kind of people, and that's the Muslim community here. We're a 2% community, so, and Australia is generally quite a racist place. So
Yeah.
you'll find a lot of it, and I guess it was because it was born out of convict people and stuff like that, and that's the way they roll, I guess. So for Muslims in general, we generally tend to have this alienated sort of thing, and the studies have shown that they will end up get going quite extreme in a lot of ways. So for us, we were thinking we need to do something about it. Our power was hip hop, and hip hop is like the black man CNN. So it was and likewise it's the same thing here, or anywhere that people are feeling alienated, they'll kind of bond towards it. So that's what we were thinking, and we were hoping to do. And the idea was to try and build identity within the Muslim youth, and sure, I hope we achieve that. But to be honest with you, I think it's still a lot needs to be done, and that's why I'm doing it solo, because I got more power and control to be able to do it on my own rather than with a group. So and we all got to play our role.
Exactly. Yeah. It was hip hop did start off underground, and it was a way for people to voice their opinion when no one else would listen to them in any other way.
Yeah.
So with your solo career now, do you find it easier to express your emotions and whatever's on your mind at the time that you're writing the nasheed, or whatever happened while you were growing up and that kind of thing, in contrast to when you were in a group with 5 people, and it's kind of hard to fit, like you would say, 5 childhoods into a 3-minute track, So do you find it easier now? Of course, there are positives and negatives to being in a group, but do you find it easier to express your personal emotions?
Yeah, so sometimes you just feel like you get an epiphany, you want to write something, you write it.
Of course. Yeah.
And that's the best thing about when you do it on your own, you just, whatever you want to do, you do it, and only you can blame yourself if you did it well or you didn't do it well. You don't have anything to, so you really take the responsibility on doing everything you need to. I do miss and I do love the brotherhood, and it's actually a brotherhood of friends. We're like brothers and extremely close mates, and and that's, I guess, the thing that I love about being in a group. But it just so it's got its good and its bad, and and alhamdulillah, like they're both still sort of working in tandem. So try and just keep it both going. But there's a lot of things that I can talk on my own upbringing, whereas and then with the brotherhood we talk more about stuff that's a bit more relevant. So I guess it just depends on what we want to talk about. And sort of just reflects in the music.
So final question about your upbringing. What would you say that you had a difficult upbringing with the social stereotyping of Islam that we spoke about earlier? Just personally, how was it for you? I know, because I went to an Islamic school. I'm not sure about you, but I went to an Islamic school from primary school all the way up until year 11. So I didn't really feel, what people would describe as social profiling. People were talking about, oh, you're this because you're a Muslim, or you're that because you're a Muslim. Did you feel any of that? I'm not sure. Did you go to a public school?
I went to both. So
Okay.
I started off in a public primary school, and it was okay. And then I went to school where there was a lot of heavy drugs and like real bad kind of school. And then I went to a Muslim school, and things were good. I was able to kind of set my environment up, and I wish I stayed there, but I didn't. And I went back to a non-Muslim school thinking for the education, which didn't really do that well, but it taught me a lot. Taught me how to talk and interact with non-Muslims, because before that I didn't. And so it was very difficult. When I was in school, trying to impress non-Muslims, yet trying to be who you are, and you're very conflicted within yourself. So it was extremely difficult, and it was some of the toughest times in my life.
Yeah, it is pretty hard. You're trying to fit in, but also you're trying to be your own self at the same time, and it's difficult with the religion. You're different in that way.
Yeah.
But you're you know, there could be people that you play football with, but at the same time, you know, there'll be different people that you pray with, and sometimes it's hard. Like you try to you know, get the best of both worlds, as they would say. But of course, you know, what you said also about when you went to a non-Muslim school and you learn how to interact with non-Muslims. It was like that for me as well when I went to a non-Muslim school in year 11. Yeah, I found it was a reality shock in a way, because you know, I saw things that basically in a Muslim school you're kind of, you know, blocked away from.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like under an umbrella.
Yeah.
You know, umbrella of your religion, and you know, there are different races, of course, but all under the same faith. Like I think, and then here you're in a school. You know, there are Muslim, there are Jewish people, you know, there are Christian people with no religion. You know, and you know, you learn to appreciate other people and you learn to interact with them. So I understand what you mean on that front. So does that reflect in your nasheeds or your music now?
I guess so. I mean, you know, there's, you know, you'll find, you know, some of the most sweetest and some of the most worst people in a public school, but you'll find some of the most sweetest and some of the worst people in a Muslim school.
Exactly, yeah.
So, you know, you're going to find a bit of both, but, and, you know, yeah, it does reflect it, you know, I mean, because I may be a bit older now, but I still act and I still kind of think like a young guy. So, you know, I'm always going to think about my identity and how I act, and, you know, hip hop and, you know, all this stuff. It keeps me young, so I will always talk about this. You know, I will always talk about my upbringing and whatnot as well. So yeah, it's definitely going to be evident in my music,
as you said, you know, you'll find bad Muslims just like you'll find good Muslims. You know, and the same with bad non-Muslims and good non-Muslims, because as is widely known, Islam is perfect, but Muslims are not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, the best thing we can do is just spread the positive message of Islam, the religion of peace, and inshallah people get the message. Jazakallah khair, thank you for your time, man. This has been Brother Hesham from the Brotherhood. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you.
Alright, that wraps up another episode of Islam Means Peace. I am your host Bilal Ali, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
غرباء ولغير الله لا نحمي الجبال غرباء ورتضيناها شعارا للحياة